Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. We're looking at a live picture of President Trump, supposed to be on about half an hour ago. No, he's not on. Well, I'm here, okay? When he comes, we'll go there. But first, we're going to do the talking points, okay? Everybody in agreement? Weaponizing tax returns. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. The Trump tax return reveal, courtesy of NBC News last night. Fascinating look at how the American media has now become a circus of ideology and cynicism. Let's look at the facts. Someone gave far-left reporter David K. Johnson 2 pages of Donald Trump's IRS return from 2005. Old Dave said, it simply arrived in his mailbox. What a lucky guy. Johnson then gave the document to MSNBC in return for putting him on the air to spout all kinds of gibberish unchallenged. That was the deal. The return shows that Mr. Trump rendered to Caesar what was legally required, paid about $38 million in federal income tax 12 years ago. But Johnson was indignant anyway. And by the way, Mr. Johnson is a quasi-socialist and also said that President Trump himself might have leaked the return to him. Of course, offering absolutely no evidence to support that contention. Now, I don't know about you, but I have a little trouble picturing the president asking his staff, hey, does anyone know where David K. Johnson lives? Now, before the actual return was shown to the audience, the cable news host, Rachel Maddow, delivered a 20-minute monologue. Talking Points is only going to be 3 minutes. She said 20 minutes worth of stuff, describing various anti-Trump conspiracy theories that she espouses on a nightly basis. It's kind of a hobby. It was kind of hard to follow Miss Maddow as she hopped from Azerbaijan to Cyprus to Palm Beach to the U.S. Attorney's Office in New York City. There was a Russian oligarch, bad people from Deutsche Bank, and a shadowy international transactional deal. Now, I kept waiting for Donald Trump to appear on the grassy knoll, but that did not happen, perhaps because they had to go to a commercial break. Then the real fun started for 2 full hours as a variety of anti-Trump merrymakers put forth more speculation than a panel at a UFO convention, portraying the president as Dr. Evil, bent on destroying Western civilization as he pets his cat. Lost in the Let's Get Trump marathon was the actual leak, which is a felony if it came from the government. My guess is the Illuminati did it, but I'll check with David K. Johnston. No doubt, MSNBC will derive ratings from this madness, which it has ever since they turned into the Sci-Fi channel over there. But it's not all about ratings. Those folks want to destroy Donald Trump any way they can. That's the mission. And they're just getting started. And that's the memo. Now for the top story tonight, we're still awaiting President Trump. Does anybody know who this guy is? Who's this guy?
Lee Greenwood.
Oh, Lee Greenwood. Excellent. But sorry, Lee, we can't take you. We have to go to Charles Krauthammer, who knows a few Lee Greenwood songs in Washington. Okay, so I think I laid out the absurdity of what happened last night with the tax returns. Do you see anything important in the story, Charles?
No, there's nothing important in the story. If anything, it sort of redounded to Trump's benefit. This is one tax return. It showed he paid a hefty amount of money. The percentage he paid is higher than Obama paid or Clinton paid or that great socialist and patriot Bernie Sanders paid. So it makes him look good, and when people raise the issue of tax returns, they'll always be able to say, well, look at the 2005 return. So if anything, it helped him. There's nothing in there. The fact, and I think the points you made about how absurd the whole overhyping was in the presentation is something that I read in a lot of the press today in the mainstream media. Maddow was ridiculed for having sort of botched this. She buried the lead. She made you wait 20 minutes, and there was nothing in there. This was the contents of the Al Capone safe.
Yeah, but
that was their
Geraldo,
equivalent.
Geraldo at least didn't know what was in the safe. I'm sticking up for my pal Geraldo. He had no idea Frank Nitty's body could have been in there,
Look,
but she knew. But let's get on to the bigger picture. Well, we can't.
You notice that I left out Geraldo's name.
Right.
I was trying to be
but Geraldo needs
nice to
airtime.
a friend.
All right, so now we're going to hold you over, although we don't know how long President Trump's going to speak at his rally. We're going to go there. We're going to listen to him. And then hopefully there'll be a little bit more time to talk with Charles. And we have other good stories tonight on The Factor. So let's go to Nashville, Tennessee. Take it away.
God bless the USA.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. So we're just going to let the other folks come in, fill it up. This is some crowd. You have to see what's outside. You wouldn't even believe it. Unbelievable. So I'm thrilled to be here in Nashville, Tennessee, the home of country music, Southern hospitality, and the great President Andrew Jackson. I just came from a tour of Andrew Jackson's home to mark the 250th anniversary of his birth. Jackson's life was devoted to one of very crucial principle. He understood that real leadership means putting America first. Before becoming president, Andrew Jackson served your state in the House of Representatives and in the United States Senate, and he also served as commander of the Tennessee militia. Tough cookies, tough cookies. So let's begin tonight by thanking all of the incredible men and women of the United States military and all of our wonderful veterans, the veterans. Amazing. There's no place I'd rather be than with all of you here tonight, with the wonderful, hardworking citizens of our country. I would much rather spend time with you than any of the pundits, consultants, or special interests, certainly, or reporters from Washington, D.C. It's patriotic Americans like you who make this country run and run well. You pay your taxes, follow our laws, support your communities, raise your children, love your country, and send your bravest to fight in our wars. All you want is a government that shows you the same loyalty in return. It's time that Washington heard your voice, and believe me, on November 8th, they heard your voice. The forgotten men and women of our country will never be forgotten again. Believe me. I want to thank so many of your state leaders. State Party Chairman Scott Golden, Congressman Scott DeJoy, Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn, Congresswoman Diane Black, Congressman Jimmy Duncan, right from the beginning, Governor Bill Haslam, a great friend of mine, Senator Bob Corker, an incredible guy, respected by all, Senator Lamar Alexander, and so many more. Thank you all for being here. We're going to be working closely together, thank you, to deliver for you, the citizens of Tennessee, like you've never been delivered for before. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are going to reduce your taxes. Big league, big. And I want to start that process so quickly. Got to get the health care done. We got to start the tax reductions. We are going to enforce our trade rules and bring back our jobs, which are scattered all over the world. They're coming back to our country. We're going to support the amazing, absolutely amazing men and women of law enforcement. Protect your freedoms and defend the Second Amendment. And we are going to restore respect for our country and for its great and very beautiful flag. It's been a little over 50 days since my inauguration, and we've been putting our America First agenda very much into action. You see what's happening. We're keeping our promises. In fact, they have signs. He's kept his promise. They're all over the place. I have. We have done far more. I think maybe more than anybody's done in this office in 50 days, that I can tell you. And we have just gotten started. Wait till you see what's coming, folks. We've appointed a Supreme Court justice to replace the late, great Antonin Scalia. His name is Judge Neil Gorsuch. He will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. We are proposing a budget that will shrink the bloated federal bureaucracy, and I mean bloated, while protecting our national security. You see what we're doing with our military. Bigger, better, stronger than ever before. You see what's happening? And you're already seeing the results. Our budget calls for one of the single largest increases in defense spending history in this country. We believe, especially the people in Tennessee, I know you people so well, in peace through strength. That's what we're going to have. And we are taking steps to make sure that our allies pay their fair share. They have to pay. We've begun a dramatic effort to eliminate job-killing federal regulations like nobody has ever seen before. Slash, slash. We're going to protect the environment. We're going to protect people's safeties. But let me tell you, the regulation business has become a terrible business, and we're going to bring it down to where it should be. Okay, let's go. One person, and there'll be the story tomorrow. Did you hear there was a protest? We're going to put our miners back to work. We're going to put our auto industry back to work. Already, because of this new business climate, we are creating jobs that are starting to pour back into our country like we haven't seen in many, many decades. In the first two job reports since I took the oath of office, we've already added nearly 500,000 new jobs. And believe me, it's just beginning. I've already authorized the construction of the long-stalled and delayed Keystone and Dakota Access pipelines. A lot of jobs. I've also directed that new pipelines must be constructed with American steel. They want to build them here, they use our steel. We believe in two simple rules: buy American and hire American. On trade, I've kept my promise to the American people and withdrawn from the Trans-Pacific Partnership disaster. Tennessee has lost 1/3 of its manufacturing jobs since the institution of NAFTA, one of the worst trade deals ever in history. Our nation has lost over 60,000 factories since China joined the World Trade Organization. 60,000, think of that. More than that. We're not going to let it happen anymore. From now on, we are going to defend the American worker and our great American companies. And if America does what it says, and if your president does what I've been telling you, there is nobody anywhere in the world that can even come close to us, folks. Not even close. If a company wants to leave America, fire their workers, and then ship their new products back into our country, there will be consequences. That's what we have borders for. And by the way, aren't our borders getting extremely strong? Very strong. Don't even think about it. We will build the wall. Don't even think about it. In fact, as you probably read, we went out to bid. We had hundreds of bidders. Everybody wants to build our wall. Usually that means we're going to get a good price. We're going to get a good price, believe me. We're going to build the wall. Some of the fake news said, I don't think Donald Trump wants to build the wall. Can you imagine if I said, we're not going to build the wall? Fake news. Fake news. Fake news, folks. A lot of fake. Now, the wall is way ahead of schedule in terms of where we are. It's under design, and you're going to see some very good things happening. But the border by itself right now is doing very well. It's becoming very strong. General Kelly has done a great job. General Kelly. My administration is also following through on our promise to secure, protect, and defend that border within our United States. Our southern border will be protected always. It will have the wall. Drugs will stop pouring in and poisoning our youth. And that will happen very, very soon. You're already seeing what's going on. The drugs are pouring into our country, folks. They are poisoning our youth and plenty of others. And we're going to stop it. We're not going to be playing games. Not going to be playing games. Following my executive action, and don't forget, we've only been here for like, what, 50 days? We've already experienced an unprecedented 40% reduction in illegal immigration on our southern border, 61%, 61% since Inauguration Day, 61%. Think of that. And now people are saying, we're not going to go there anymore because we can't get in. So it's going to get better and better. We got to stop those drugs, though. We got to stop those drugs. During the campaign, as I traveled all across this country, I met with many American families whose loved ones were viciously and violently killed by illegal immigrants because our government refused to enforce our already existing laws. These American victims were ignored by the media. They were ignored by Washington. But they were not ignored by me, and they're not ignored by you, and they never will be ignored, certainly any longer. Not going to happen. As we speak, we are finding the drug dealers, the robbers, thieves, gang members, killers, and criminals preying on our citizens. One by one. You're reading about it, right? They're being thrown out of our country. They're being thrown into prisons, and we will not let them back in. We're also working night and day to keep our nation safe from terrorism. We have seen the devastation from 9/11 to Boston to San Bernardino. Hundreds upon hundreds of people from outside our country have been convicted of terrorism-related offenses in the United States courts. Right now, we have investigations going on all over. Hundreds of refugees are under federal investigation for terrorism and related reasons. We have entire regions of the world destabilized by terrorism and ISIS. For this reason, I issued an executive order to temporarily suspend immigration from places where it cannot safely occur. But let me give you the bad news. We don't like bad news, right? I don't want to hear. And I'll turn it into good. But let me give you the bad, the sad news. Moments ago, I learned that a district judge in Hawaii part of the much overturned Ninth Circuit Court and I have to be nice, otherwise I'll get criticized for speaking poorly about our courts. I'll be criticized by these people, among the most dishonest people in the world. I will be criticized. I'll be criticized by them for speaking harshly about our courts. I would never want to do that. A judge has just blocked our executive order on travel and refugees coming into our country from certain countries. The order he blocked was a watered-down version of the first order that was also blocked by another judge and should have never been blocked to start with. This new order was tailored to the dictates of the Ninth Circuit's, in my opinion, flawed ruling. This is, in the opinion of many, an unprecedented judicial overreach. The law and the Constitution give the president the power to suspend immigration when he deems, or she, fortunately it will not be Hillary she, when he or she deems it to be in the national interests of our country. So we have a lot of lawyers here. We also have a lot of smart people here. Let me read to you directly from the federal statute. 212F of the immigration, and you know what I'm talking about, right? Can I read this to you? Listen to this. Now, we're all smart people, we're all good students, we're all everything. Some are bad students, but even if you're a bad student, this is a real easy one, let me tell you. Ready? So here's the statute, which they don't even want to quote when they overrule it. And it was put here for the security of our country. And this goes beyond me because there'll be other presidents. And we need this. And sometimes we need it very badly for security of our country. It says, now listen to how easy this is. Whenever the president finds that the entry of any aliens or any class of aliens would be detrimental to the interests of the United States, he may, by proclamation, and for such period as he, you see, it wasn't politically correct because they should have said he or she. You know, today they'd say that. But that's all right. Actually, that's the only mistake they made. As he shall deem necessary, suspend the entry of all aliens or any class of aliens as immigrants or non-immigrants, or impose on the entry of aliens any restrictions he may deem to be appropriate. In other words, if he thinks there's danger out there, he or she, whoever is president, can say, I'm sorry, folks, not now, please. We got enough problems. We're talking about the safety of our nation, the safety and security of our people. Now, I know you people aren't skeptical people, because nobody would be that way in Tennessee. Right? Nobody. Not Tennessee. You don't think this was done by a judge for political reasons, do you? No. This ruling makes us look weak which, by the way, we no longer are, believe me. Just look at our borders. We're going to fight this terrible ruling. We're going to take our case as far as it needs to go, including all the way up to the Supreme Court. We're going to win. We're going to keep our citizens safe. And regardless, we're going to keep our citizens safe, believe me. Even liberal Democratic lawyer Alan Dershowitz, good lawyer, just said that we would win this case before the Supreme Court of the United States. Remember this, I wasn't thrilled. But the lawyers all said, oh, let's tailor it. This is a watered-down version of the first one. This is a watered-down version. And let me tell you something. I think we ought to go back to the first one and go all the way, which is what I wanted to do in the first place. The danger is clear. The law is clear. The need for my executive order is clear. I was elected to change our broken and dangerous system and thinking in government that has weakened and endangered our country and left our people defenseless. And I will not stop fighting for the safety of you and your families, believe me. Not today, not ever. We're going to win it. We're going to win it. We're going to apply common sense. We're going to apply intelligence. And we're never quitting, and we're never going away, and we're never, ever giving up. The best way to keep foreign terrorists, or as some people would say in certain instances, radical Islamic terrorists from attacking our country is to stop them from entering our country in the first place. We'll take it. But these are the problems we have. People are screaming, break up the Ninth Circuit. And I'll tell you what, that Ninth Circuit, you have to see, take a look at how many times they have been overturned with their terrible decisions. Take a look. And this is what we have to live with. Finally, I want to get to taxes. I want to cut the hell out of taxes. But before I can do that, I would have loved to have put it first, I'll be honest. There is one more very important thing that we have to do, and we're going to try and put it in phase 3. I'm going to work on bringing down the cost of medicine by having a fair and competitive bidding process. We welcome this health care debate and its negotiation, and we're going to carry it out and have been carrying it out in the full light of day, unlike the way Obamacare was passed. Remember, folks, if we don't do anything, Obamacare is gone. It's not like, oh, gee, it's going to be wonderful in 3 years. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. Not working. It's gone. What we cannot do is to be intimidated by the dishonest attacks from Democratic leaders in Congress who broke the system in the first place and who don't believe you should be able to make your own health care decisions. I am very confident that if we empower the American people, we will accomplish incredible things for our country, not just on health care, but all across our government. We will unlock new frontiers in science and in medicine. We will give our children the right to attend the school of their choice, one where they will be taught to love this country and its values. We will create millions and millions of new jobs by lowering taxes on our businesses and, very importantly, for our workers. We're going to lower taxes. Big. And we will fight for the right of every American child to grow up in a safe neighborhood, attend a great school, and to graduate with access to a high-paying job that they love doing. No matter our background, no matter our income, no matter our geography, we all share the same home. We all salute the same flag. And we all are made by the same God. It's time to embrace our glorious American destiny. Anything we can dream for our country, we can achieve for our country. All we have to do is tap into that American pride that is swelling our hearts and stirring our souls, and we found that out very recently in our last election. A lot of pride. We are all Americans, and the future truly belongs to us. The future belongs to all of you. This is your moment. This is your time. This is the hour when history is made. All we have to do is put our own citizens first, and together we will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. God bless you, everybody.
All right, Donald Trump wrapping up I was going to say campaign rally, because it was almost identical to what he did while campaigning for the presidency. He's trying to rally the troops and get a positive perception. Let's go back to Charles Krauthammer and get his view of the speech. Stem-winder, emotional, trying to rally Americans to his cause in a general way. That's my assessment. What's yours?
Well, that was 98% of it. It was about the future. I'm going to do X, I'm going to do Y, which is what you do in campaigns. He talked a little bit about what he's already done. But the 2%, there was meat there, and that was news. And that is, everybody in Washington has been waiting sort of on tenterhooks to see whether Trump is going to cut himself loose from the Ryan plan, the Paul Ryan plan for replacing Obamacare. And some of the stories are, they're conflicting stories, and that some of the Trump supporters, the people in the White House, his loyalists, are trying to cut loose from Paul Ryan and are trying to make distance. And what I heard here was not that. What I heard here is I think Trump has decided that he is tied to the mast of this Ryan ship. And that's the vehicle with which he's either going to succeed or fail on Obamacare. And what he was saying is, it's a little bit contradictory, because he basically talked about the Ryan plan. He also said, we're going to get in a room and negotiate. Yeah. So he's got some room to try to appease, particularly the conservatives in the House. But this was not somebody separating himself.
No. But I didn't expect him to.
This is it.
I didn't expect him to bail on Ryan. He needs Ryan. He needs the structure in the House. What he's going to do is come in as the master negotiator and bring all sides together. That's the plan. Whether it works or not, nobody knows. I was surprised he didn't bring up the tax return thing, because as you pointed out at the top of the program, it did help him. Took a lot of shots at the media, which I think he's going to continue doing. They truly despise each other. The anti-Trump media and the president, they despise each other. So that was a recurring theme all throughout. But I was surprised he didn't make any mention of the tax thing at all.
Well, I mean, he didn't really have to. It speaks for itself. It's not a major issue,
but
as you say.
But the leak is a major issue. The leak of it and the continuing leaks that are undermining his administration, that is a major deal.
Well, apparently he doesn't think so, because he didn't raise it, or at least he didn't think it was that important that he had to do it today. Look, he came out ahead on this. So when you come out ahead, you let it speak for yourself. And you let the other guy look bad, which I think that was pretty obvious.
Let me get this straight, Charles.
The other side looked bad.
When Trump comes out ahead, he lets it speak for himself. When he wins, he rams it down everybody's throat. You're going to see Monday night. He's going to have another rally on Monday night. And you're going to see Monday night him take off on the leaks. I can almost guarantee you that will happen. So, Charles, we appreciate you staying up late. You know, you're usually in bed right after Bear at 6. And it's nice to see you up closing
it's
in at
around
9
this
Eastern
time that I have my hot chocolate and cocoa. Yeah, that's right.
And we gave it to you, and a donut. Now, we have a brand new poll, a Fox News poll, on President Trump. It's interesting. We're going to have Bowling and Rivera take a look at that as the factor continues all across the USA and all around the world.
This program is brought to you by Southern Company. We're building the future of energy for you.
Energy is amazing. How we use it is only limited by our imagination. And at Southern Company, we're building the future of energy. For you.
It's a new day, a fresh start. Because Time Warner Cable is now Spectrum, redefining what a cable company can be. With promises to make and promises to keep. And over 90,000 employees working hard every day to earn your business. Welcome to America's fastest growing TV, internet, and voice provider. Welcome to Spectrum.
We are proud to bring Ohio native and college football coach Lou Holtz to Sydney to benefit big brothers, big sisters of Shelby and Darke County.
If you don't know Coach, he's one of the most successful coaches in history, as well as a best-selling author and a motivational speaker. Please join us on April 27th at 6:30 to hear Coach Lou Holtz at our 2017 Financial Forum. 100% of the ticket sales goes directly to benefit big brothers and big sisters.
$1 million on lawyers and experts, if that's what it takes.
You have this whole team of people on your side, and you know that you don't have to go it alone.
And unlike free credit monitoring that just monitors your credit, LifeLock detects and works to fix identity theft.
LifeLock, they're not just going to monitor your credit, they're going to be there to help you afterwards if something happens.
Join today for as low as $9.99 per month and get 60 days risk-free with promo code LL60. Every LifeLock member gets identity threat detection and alerts, a dedicated U.S.-based agent assigned to your case, up to $1 million for lawyers and experts if needed. Join in minutes. Protection starts immediately.
Having LifeLock, we didn't feel like victims anymore.
LifeLock. Call 1-800-261-9150 or visit lifelock60.com. Use promo code LL60 to get your 60 days risk-free and a free shredder with annual membership. Join LifeLock today.
Personal story segment tonight. Some new polling on President Trump. According to Fox News, when asked about the president's job performance, 43% approve, 51% disapprove. Is the economy getting better. 48% say yes, it is. 29% say it's getting worse. 19% no change. As for the Republican plan to replace Obamacare, 34% now favor it, 54% opposed. Not good news for the GOP. With us now to analyze Geraldo Rivera and Eric Bolling. So, Bolling, lots of Trump news. What do you want to focus on?
That last poll you had there, 54%, 34% approve of the GOP plan to replace Obamacare. It's a disaster. The minute it came out, I was on Outnumbered the same day, and I said, this is dead on arrival. It's
Why?
Not a
What's the
free
main
market.
problem with it?
Well, I'll tell you what the biggest problem, I didn't know it at the time, but the biggest problem is it wasn't a free market solution. There wasn't the state lines.
Right, that's what nobody knows what you're talking about. It's a pinhead.
Okay,
what is the biggest problem?
The two highest groups, highest voter totals for Donald Trump were 50 to 64-year-olds and over 65-year-olds.
Tell me what the problem is,
The
Bolling.
price. You ready for this?
The
For
price.
both of those groups, it goes from $1,700 a year under Obamacare, if you're low income, to $14,000 a year.
But that's going to be. They're going to deal with that.
No, but that means the reason why the price is what it is for the whole health care bill is because people are dropping out. That's why 52 million people will drop out. They need to fix. That's Ryan Care.
They're going to have to fix it. There's no doubt about it. All right. What was a lot of Trump news, as I just said to Bolling? What's jumping out at you?
Aside from Al Capone's vault, and I appreciate you sticking up for me.
Yeah, I had to.
The problem isn't the cost so much, I think, as the philosophical concept in terms of health care. Does the government, do we Americans owe our fellow Americans health care? So you have the Ryan plan, which tries to cut the baby in the middle. The middle of the road is also known as roadkill. This program is dead on arrival. Why? Because the right doesn't want to pay for the poor people. The left wants more than the Ryan plan is willing to give. Ryan attempted a compromise. It pleases nobody.
But
One-third is about right.
Until Trump gets in as the master negotiator and tries to work it out. What else on Trump?
On Trump, I think that you didn't show the poll on his tweeting. I think the temper of the president, his demeanor in office, is weighing heavily on his popularity.
Yeah, I think so.
He can't keep being erratic.
That's why he's doing these
3
speeches.
million undocumented voted.
That's why he's doing these speeches, to whip it up. That was a popular speech. Wants to whip up support.
The president wiretapped. You can't make those charges.
Well, I
and
can't
not
wait for
expect
next
it
week,
to
though.
resonate.
And we ought to mention that coming up, we have an interview with Tucker Carlson with President Trump, where he says, and in the next couple of weeks, it's going to be like wiretap stuff that everybody's going to be grasping at. So we'll listen to Carlson.
I think he needs to push away the Obamacare stuff, the Trump, the health care stuff, and get to taxes.
I got to go.
Get to taxes.
All right? Because Trump took all the airtime tonight. Everything. But it's probably better. Factor tip of the day, avoiding physical pain. I'm going to tell you how to avoid physical pain. The tip, moments away. Pain in a moment, but first the mail. Earl Holelen, Cherry Hills Village, Colorado. Bill, thanks for rejecting the loons. We've always had hysterical people, but the amount of hate since the election has made rational debate all but impossible. Sally Week, Baldwin Park, California. O'Reilly, as I have predicted, you finally stated the facts about Fox News reporting. You said very strongly you will no longer have anyone who disagrees with you on the factor. You know, Sally, if you send me your resume, I'll pass it along to the propaganda news outlets. You'd be perfect over there. That's not even close to what I said. Memos posted on BillO'Reilly.com from last night. Sharon Strasbaugh. San Diego, Bill, please continue to interview the loons. You're the only one who exposes them. Many of my colleagues are skilled at that, Sharon. But, these people are so over the top, they expose themselves. Lori Costors, East Wenatchee, Washington. O'Reilly, just want you to know that not all Washingtonians support the governor's liberal policies. Folks in the eastern part of the state might as well be on Mars. We are well aware that King County dominates Washington state politically, Lori, as does Multnomah County in Oregon. Miller and I sold out 2 shows in Spokane, and the show in the Tacoma Dome a week from Saturday completely sold out as well. Sue Penioli, Stone Mountain, Georgia. O'Reilly, you said the alert urchins will enjoy your upcoming book, Old School. Honestly, it sounds like the snowflakes need it most of all. Sure, they need it, Sue, but it will crush their self-esteem. They'll need a safe space. There'll be triggers when they read it. Book is out in 13 days, climbing the Amazon charts already. Donald Greenman, Sebring, Florida. I am a vet of the Pacific War and World War II. A chapter in my life I would like to forget, but I relented and read Killing the Rising Sun. It's so fascinating, I read it in one sitting. Well, first of all, thanks for all your patriotism, Don. Second, I'm glad the book engaged you. Finally, tonight's fact tip of the day. Recently, I went to the dentist. Not a fun time. My guy, he's actually very good. He's got all kinds of painkillers, modern equipment. The fact is, whenever anything goes on with your teeth, there will be pain. Sometimes lots of pain. So in order to avoid that, you have to be proactive. Step number one. Doesn't matter what toothpaste you use, they're all essentially the same. But you should brush your teeth 3 times a day and floss every night. Then use a rinse twice a day. I like that smart mouth stuff because I'm basically a smart mouth. If you do those things every day, you can build up a defense system in your mouth and avoid much unpleasantness. Factor tip of the day. And that is it for us tonight. Please